This weekend, there were 2,167 auctions scheduled around the country. That's around 7% more than the same time last year. Also around the country, 749 auctions. Of those will be held in New South Wales. That's around 6% on last year. In Victoria, 914 auctions, up by around 11%. Also a big surge for Melbourne, but a big fall in those regional areas. In Queensland, 267 auctions. In South Australia, which is still strong, 167 auctions. That's 88% higher than last year. WA just 19 auctions. It, of course, is stronger when it comes to private sales. Let's go to the most viewed properties in each state and in New South Wales. It's this cream brick number in Quakers Hill. The three-bedder has a price guide of about $750,000, they say, but the auctioneer says it must be sold under the hammer. The auction midday on Sunday. In Melbourne, it's this four-bedroom, three-bathroom home in the leafy Camberwell suburb with a price guide between $2 and $2.18 million. The place has a secure remote control gate, ample driveway parking and an auto double garage as well. In Queensland, have a look at this. 7 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, 10-car garage. It's a stunner in Reedy Creek on the Gold Coast. The auction of Villa Casa will be tomorrow at 11 with no price guide from the agent Amir Prestige. The property boasts 180-degree coastline views. Looks kind of nice. In South Australia, this 3-bedroom limestone cottage in Rose Park will be auctioned at 10:30 tomorrow. The place has been completely modernised, a heated double pool and also a double car park, and it looks kind of good too. But the most viewed property is this one. It's pretty astonishing. In Roselands in Sydney's West, according to the agent Mayfair Real Estate, it draws inspiration from a Spanish villa with curved architectural forms and whitewashed travertine floors. It's got a pool, a sauna and a garden setting, plus summer and winter courtyards along the sides of the building. There are 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms and room for 4 cars. There's no formal guide on the price, but the agent Kareem Lakis tells us it's most likely to go for the high $3 million mark. Well, the man who simply wants more listings on that site is Owen Wilson, Chief Executive of REA Group. Now, we told you earlier, REA drove growth in News Corp's results today as well. For the full year, REA Group's revenue was ahead 23% to $1.45 billion, net profit up by 24% to $460 million, and the company paid a final dividend of 102 cents a share. It's up by 20% in the past year. REA Group, which has had a great run this year already, well, today its share price is ahead by, well, another 6.5% as the stock market rebounded sharply. So let's bring in here the REA Group Chief Executive, Owen Wilson, who joins me now. Owen, many thanks for your time. I mean, clearly you'd be very stoked by these results, but the fact of the matter is it was driven by more listings in the Melbourne and Sydney property markets, which almost goes against the grain of suggestions that there's a housing shortage in Australia.
Oh, well, look, we are delighted with the results that we produced this year. And look, it is on the back of a very healthy property market. Total listings in Australia were up 7%, up 5% on the 6-year average. But within that 7%, Melbourne and Sydney were incredibly strong, up around 22 and 21% respectively. And it does belie the fact that the people are saying the property market is not strong. It's actually incredibly healthy, with really healthy levels of demand and vendor confidence to bring their properties to market.
So you wouldn't be ignorant to the fact that there have been some shareholders agitating News Corporation to open up more of the value that it's got in REA Group. It owns more than 60%. What part do you as the Chief Executive play in all of that stuff?
Oh, look, those considerations are for News Corp. They are a major shareholder, but we are listed on the stock exchange. We do have a free float that trades quite freely, and I'm concentrated on the entire shareholder base.
Yeah, so then come back and take me to other parts of the group, because one thing you said was that many of the potential sellers of properties through your group will now take on some of the premium products. Now, that's, if you can convince people to do that, that's money for old rope. That's just margin for you that goes straight to the bottom line.
Yeah, vendors and our customers, they are increasingly choosing to go for our premium products. The reality is they deliver exceptional value. We have the largest audience of property seekers in the country. We have about 10.8 million Australians visit our site every month, half of those exclusively. So the value of those premium products tells its own story, and the leads we deliver off that is real value for vendors when they're trying to sell their property.
So the other thing, Owen, is what gets me about this is quite clearly the vendors, the sellers, are very confident when they're coming to your site that they're going to get a sale. But then also the buyers are equally as confident right now, because the one thing out of your report I noted was that the time on sale on your site now is really reducing quite markedly. In other words, if there's a property up there, it gets sold pretty quickly.
That's right. Look, right across the course of the year, we've seen very strong buyer demand, and we have the best view of buyer demand in the country because of the audience that we get. We can see that buyer inquiries are up 14% year on year. Property views, property sharing, all the activity that buyers do on our site was up. So we could see that those buyers are there. We also saw that house prices were quite robust during the year, and they peaked in June. So when you're in an environment where vendors are confident getting a good price and they can see the buyers there, they were willing to bring their properties to market. But as you said, days on market they were down, well below the 5-year average. So any property that's coming to market will sell at the moment.
So take me to one other aspect of this, because it's population growth. Everybody talks about a property shortage. Everybody talks about a need for more homes to be built in Australia, which I think is pretty much self-evident. But then the reality is that every one of those new homes that comes to market is most likely going to end up on your site being advertised for somebody to purchase it.
That's right, and you're right. Population growth is a big driver of what you're seeing in this market at the moment. You know, the government has recently pared back the number of new migrants coming into the country, but you go back 12 months and we were at record levels. And it's true that a certain percentage of those new arrivals want to buy immediately, and that was fueling that demand for properties. There is a housing shortage in this country, and it is one of the biggest issues, I think, facing government at the moment. We still have strong immigration, we still have population growth, and we're not building enough supply. Building approvals for the 12 months to June were the lowest they've been in 10 years, and that's got to turn around at some stage. But it's a combination of cost of materials, cost of labour, and the time it takes to get planning approvals through that's really inhibiting those new properties coming out of the ground.
Which is even more astounding, that you get, record numbers of listing on your site, notwithstanding that. One thing you and I have spoken about before is the investment you made in India, which is starting to grow pretty significantly. You also have an investment in the United States as well. But just on that Indian one for the moment, what sort of traction are you getting there? Because if that does work in the way in which you hope, I mean, really, it could dwarf many times over the Australian market that you already have a dominant share in.
No, you're spot on, Ross. Look, our number one objective in India is to become the clear number one portal. And the investment thesis behind that is that if we are the number one portal in India and pick a date in 5 or 10 years' time, it will be worth a significant amount for our shareholders. That business is performing incredibly well. We did a 31% revenue increase in the year to June. We've grown our audience. We've got the number one site in terms of audience. We're 1.3 times the nearest competitor in terms of web audience. But increasingly, we're investing in our app, and our app audience grew 45% year on year in Q4, as Indians are more and more turning to apps on their mobile devices for their property experience.
I'll tell you what, Owen Wilson, Chief Executive of REA Group. Always good to chat to you, Owen, and many thanks for your time today.
Thank you, Ross. Thanks for your time.